you certainly can't predict the market by reading the daily newspaper. That is for sure. And you certainly can't predict the market by listening to me. People, because they can make decisions every second in stocks, whereas they can't with farms, they think an investment in stocks is different than an investment in a business or an investment in a farm or an investment in an apartment house. But it isn't. Now coronavirus is front and center. Something else will be front and center 6 months from now, and a year from now, and 2 years from now. The real question is where are these businesses going to be 5 and 10 and 20 years from now? Some of them will do sensationally, some of them will disappear, and overall, I think America will do very well. It has since 1776.
We just watched the Nevada caucus. Bernie Sanders walked away with the most delegates after that. He looks to be as the clear frontrunner for the nomination for the Democrats this time around. You have long been a supporter of the Democratic Party. What do you think?
Well, I think I'm going to wait and see who gets the nomination. But I'm a Democrat, but I'm not a card-carrying Democrat. And I've voted for Republicans. I've contributed to Republicans.
A year ago, we had asked you about Michael Bloomberg, and you had said that if he ever entered the race, he was somebody you would support. Would you support him? Is he your candidate?
Well, I would certainly vote for him. I don't think another billionaire supporting him would be the best thing to announce. But sure, I would have no trouble voting for Mike Bloomberg. I would say this in terms of Sanders. I actually agree with him in terms of certain things he would like to accomplish. I don't agree with him in many ways, but in terms of the fact that we ought to do better by the people that get left behind by our capitalist system. I don't think we should kill the capitalist system in the process.
Alan Bucky writes in a letter. He says, if Michael Bloomberg becomes the Democratic candidate, would you consider buying his company?
No. I can give you a categorical answer to that.
Because of the price? Because of the...
There'd be somebody to pay more. We do not understand at all what the outcome will be in a world where $13 trillion is being borrowed at less than zero.
You know, the 10-year, speaking of these low rates, just a little bit ago hit its lowest yield since July of 2016 this morning. I think it was 1.377%. We're back at 1.396%. But 10-year rates below 1.4%.
Yeah.
Would you have anticipated this?
It makes no sense to lend money at 1.4% to the U.S. government when it's government policy to have 2% a year inflation. I mean, you've got the government is telling you we're going to give you 1.4% and tax you on it, and on the other hand, we're going to presumably devalue that money at 2% a year. So these are very unusual conditions, and classical economics, it doesn't appear that. You know, what do people do under such circumstances? Does everybody buy a mattress and stick their money under the mattress, or what?
Berkshire owns $32.58 billion of Bank of America and $17.39 billion of Wells Fargo. One position's been increasing while the other's been decreasing. Does Warren like Bank of America twice as much as Wells Fargo? And how should shareholders view the holding?
I think they've seen that we've bought Bank of America and we've sold some Wells Fargo.
There's been a lot of speculation. In fact, some of the questions that came in over this weekend were questions about those airlines, wondering if you would buy any of them outright. Have you considered buying any of those companies outright?
It'd be very unlikely we would do that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's complicated. There's a lot of complications because it's a regulated industry. Anytime you get in a regulated industry, you have more complications in transactions.
Lucas writes in, he said, did Justin Sun change your mind on cryptocurrencies? For anybody who doesn't know, Justin Sun bought the dinner or the lunch that you just had from the last Glide Foundation fundraiser. He is actively involved in Bitcoin.
Well, I would say this, when Justin and 4 friends came, they behaved perfectly, and we had a good 3.5-hour dinner, and the whole thing was a very friendly exchange of ideas. But cryptocurrencies basically have no value. I'll give you a little preview of our movie for the annual meeting. We haven't done it yet, but it will probably show me crushing with my foot my old flip phone while cozying up to the new smartphone.
When did you get the smartphone?
I've been given several of them, but including by Tim Cook.
One finally stuck?
What, pardon me?
One finally stuck? You're actually
Yeah, absolutely. No, my flip phone is permanently gone. The number's been changed to my new phone. Wow, yeah.
That's impressive.
I mean, you're looking at an 89-year-old guy that's barely beginning to be with it.
What do you like best about the phone? And what do you like least?
Well, I don't use all its facilities like most people. I mean, most people are living their lives around it, and I use it as a phone.
As a phone and nothing
I
else.
use it as a phone.